Hi friends. So today I want to teach you a game that you can play while you're reading. This game is called How to Guess the Covered Word. I play this game a lot with my class. So what you do is you get a book, and then inside that book what you're going to do is you're going to cover up a word or two on a page, and then when you're reading you have to guess that word that you've covered up. So I have a book here called Zelda and Ivy the Runaways. This is by Laura McGee Kavaskanowski. That's a tricky name to say. This is it is published by the Candlewick Press Company. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a page and cover up a word that I think maybe might be a little bit tricky. So I play this a lot with my class when I introduce them to a new book. I cover up a word and then we practice our word solving strategies of how we could figure out what that word might say. So what you do is as you're reading, you think about what's going on in the book, you use the picture for clues, and then you make a guess of what would sound right and what might make sense. So after you make your guess, you can write your guess down and then slowly peel off where you've covered up your word and see if you are right. So if it's not right, then you can keep reading or you could try again. So what I did was I just actually ripped off tops of a sticky note that I have, and it sticks right onto the book. So it's easy to peel off, and I just use my fingers to rip it so I can kind of customize how big it is when it's going over the word. So let's try it. So I have Zelda and Ivy the Runaways. So chapter 1. Dad's making cucumber sandwiches for lunch, said Ivy. Not again, said Zelda. That's it. I'm running away. Zelda stuffed her lucky jewel, PJs, blanket, writer's notebook, and an extra pair of socks into her... And that's where we have the covered word. So you would think about what's going on in the story. You can look at the picture for clues. And I see that she's stuffing it into, maybe it looks like a bag or a suitcase. So I'm going to guess that it is a suitcase. So I would write down the word suitcase, sound it out the best that I could, and then I would slowly start to peel away this covered word. And I would see that it starts with an S, U, suit, a suitcase. So I was right with my guess. So then you would go back and reread to smooth out your voice. Zelda stuffed her lucky jewel, PJs, blanket, writer's notebook, and an extra pair of socks into her suitcase. And then as you're reading, you can cover up more words to solve them as you go. This is a game that you can play with one other person when you're reading a book to one another. You could also do this if you are taking turns reading different pages, and you can reuse the stickies that you've already ripped and pulled out. You can choose which page you're going to read and cover up a word for that reader to solve, and then do the same for when the other person will cover up a word for you to solve. I hope that you enjoy doing this game. It's great practice for your reading strategies and solving words when you come to a tricky word in your book, because sometimes when you come to a tricky word in your book, you might be able to solve it just by thinking about what's going on in the story and by looking at the picture. So I hope you have fun. Happy reading, friends.